Very good morning to you. It is 7 a.m. on Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. Welcome to ONNJ Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Sun and clouds this morning, mostly cloudy this afternoon. Breezy, a little tiny bit milder than yesterday, though. Boy, those winds made it feel so cold yesterday. Highs today closer to 50. We head to meteorologist Mike Favetta with a first check of this morning's Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike. I tell you,
Good.
the thermometer said one thing, and I looked and I was like, yeah, no.
No, that wind was brutal and it made it feel very chilly throughout yesterday afternoon. With the wind chills already in the 20s this morning, we have actual air temperatures hovering just above the freezing mark. So we're running about 3 or 4 degrees warmer than this time yesterday, but 42 on LBI, that is the warmest we can get as of right now. I think we've hit our low for the day and we'll eventually see things warm up. But again, there's our temperature, about 4 or 5 degrees warmer than yesterday in northern New Jersey. The air is still very dry with the dew points in the 20s and all the clouds that have moved in throughout the overnight. Some breaks in the clouds last night allowed some to see the northern lights. We'll see some photos of that coming up in just a bit. But it's all about the wind again today, with gusts anywhere from 15 to 20 miles per hour, making it feel quite chilly. Even throughout tomorrow, winds not as gusty, but maybe by the afternoon we see another round of gusty winds by the end of the day. And then Friday, just repeat another free breezy and chilly afternoon. The futurecast this time doesn't have much more flakes or flurries in the forecast. Maybe a quick passing sprinkle later tonight down the shore. You see a little bit of green rolling along there, but beyond that, just a mix of clouds and sun, very similar to yesterday, minus the snow. And of course, that wind that takes us into the end of the day. Again, the futurecast keeping temperatures well below average, with morning lows in the 30s, afternoon highs in the 40s, and even through Friday, keeping that chill throughout the overnight into Saturday morning. So I think it'll be a dry start to the weekend, plenty of cloud cover as well as the cold weather around, and it just feels chilly for the next several days. Can't really squeeze out any more warmth. The next few days featuring that temperature that holds right around 50 degrees, running a good 5 to 7 degrees below average, with those morning wake-up temperatures well below average, around freezing. We'll talk wind chills, let you know how chilly it feels coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, I'll tell you, it feels downright. How about that? Does downright qualify
Downright.
as a level of
It
chilly?
does.
Downright chilly?
It does.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. I don't want to sound too country bumpkinish here. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate you, sir. 7:03 is our time. In terms of traffic, we do have a crash down Route 130 southbound, south of Route 1 in North Brunswick. The right lane of two lanes closed right now. And then we have a disabled vehicle on the New Jersey Turnpike inner roadway northbound, south of interchange 14, which is 78 and 1 and 9 in Newark. The right shoulder's blocked. Please forgive me as I just adjust one piece of our equipment here. We also have a vehicle fire, Garden State Parkway southbound, north of 82A. So that's just south of Asbury Park, that area. This actually it's about 15 miles south of Asbury Park, Toms River Township. The right shoulder is blocked in that area. We have a crash investigation on 495, which is the Helix, westbound east of Kennedy Boulevard, Union City. So as you're coming back from New York City into New Jersey, that's where that crash investigation is happening. So that could be backing things up to New York. At the very least, it's causing rubbernecking delays for the eastbound side. And police are now, let's see, police department activity on the exclusive bus lane eastbound from east of Jersey City. Let's see, east of Jersey Turnpike, rather, North Bergen to west of the Boulevard East exit in Weehawken. All lanes are closed, so there are no bus lanes. It's a mess right now by the Helix as a result. So just beware of that. Give yourselves extra travel time. The Holland Tunnel is a good deal. It's only 25 minutes. And the GWB upper and lower levels, we take a peek and we see what a difference 24 hours makes. Veterans Day yesterday, this was empty and flying. And look at what we have today. We have 35 minutes in as what they're telling us right now. And you can see there is a truck in the breakdown lane or the shoulder, which is the upper level approach. So don't even think about cheating using that. And right now, 7:05 is our time, and House Republicans have advanced a bill to reopen the federal government. They, in fact, will have their vote tonight, so we'll see if it passes. Right now, Republicans can only afford to lose 2 votes, and then the whole thing doesn't go through. So we hope that the Republicans don't get stupid now and decide, here's my opportunity to put in what I want. Don't be idiots. Just pass what you got. This is an opportunity for the country to reopen. Top House Democrats, though, say they will oppose this. But remember, there is a majority of Republicans in the House. They only need a simple majority. They don't need that 60 rule, that 60% rule that you have in the Senate. So all you need is one extra vote in the House. This passes. The objection on the part of the Democrats is over the bill's failure to include the payment of hundreds of billions of dollars in Obamacare tax credits. Those are tax credits that were supposed to sunset under existing Democrat sponsored and passed law. They wrote that they should end now, not the Republicans. And now that it comes up for a vote, they're upset that the Republicans aren't doing something to extend it. You guys wrote that they would end. You could have just written it in permanently. You didn't. In the Senate, 8 moderate Democrats joined Republicans to pass the measure yesterday, or the day before. Even though Democrats had demanded the credits be included as well, they're going to get a vote in December on it. The House's leadership, with a narrow margin, faces that risky vote if too many Republicans defect. But again, we are hoping the Republicans, for once in their lives, will stay unified. 7:06, the day after the Senate passed the bill to end the shutdown, airlines reported cancellations at about 6%. That would be yesterday for some high traffic airports. It was pretty much a mess in much of the country. For more than 1,100 flights had already been canceled, more than 850 delayed as of early yesterday morning, this time yesterday. Now, this happened in spite of the fact that senators sent to the House an agreement to reopen the government. Still, there's a ripple effect, and it's going to take maybe a week or two before things get back to normal. Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy said that it could take weeks before those airlines are running on a close to schedule once again. So pack your patience. The problem is we got Thanksgiving coming up and a lot of people headed to airports. 7:07, the Navy deployed the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier to the Caribbean as part of a military buildup near Venezuela, kind of to send a message to Maduro. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth already sent destroyers, a nuclear submarine, and aircraft, creating the largest U.S. regional presence in the Caribbean since 1989. The U.S. is calling this a counter-narcotics operation. Venezuela's dictator, President Nicolas Maduro, called the move imperial aggression. Of course, he doesn't talk about the fact that he is a murderous dictator and he's brutally cut off heads and hands of his people. He keeps that quiet. This is viewed, though, by military analysts as a strategy to pressure that regime in Venezuela, possibly to force Maduro to take a hike and go seek asylum somewhere else. 7:08, a liberal activist Utah judge invalidated the map that was drawn by duly elected Republican lawmakers and instead adopted a map that was proposed by the always left-leaning League of Women Voters. I love how the League of Women Voters always calls itself nonpartisan, but yet they're always leaning to the left on everything. The ruling found the previous map unduly favors Republicans and disfavors Democrats. Says who? Under voter approved anti gerrymandering standards. What did California just do in favor of Democrats? Literally 42% of the population of California is Republican, yet they'll only have like one or two representatives out of 38. California can get away with crap like that, but in Utah, just a state away or two states away, this is gerrymandering and it's not legal. It's going to be appealed. It'll likely go through. But once again, activist, leftist, freakazoid judge, not minding their business, not staying in their lane, always trying to get in the way because they cannot stomach. They don't care if they'll be tossed in jail for breaking the law. They cannot stomach the Republicans being in control. This is so blatantly obvious. This did not happen when Republicans were in control in the past. This is strictly a feature of the left. President Trump has filed a petition with the Supreme Court to throw out a civil court jury's findings that he sexually abused E. Jean Carroll and defamed her in Bergdorf Goodman in the 1990s. You'll recall that Carroll, she couldn't recall when it happened. She couldn't recall the specific details. She couldn't recall specifically what floor, what department. I think it was lingerie. I'm not sure when, but I know it was Trump. And she didn't make a peep about it. She says she mentioned it once to a friend when it happened, but like, no big deal. If it was such a big deal and you feel you were sexually abused, wouldn't you go to the police? I mean, wouldn't you say something? Wouldn't you make a big stink when Trump ran for president the first time? No. She decides that once he's running for president, now this was the worst thing that ever happened to me in my life. And she took him to court. And it's a civil case. So that's why when George Stephanopoulos referred to what happened as rape, that's why ABC got sued and had to hand over $16 million because there was no criminal case and it was never called rape. It was called sexual abuse. and that was a civil case, and now it is being appealed and will disappear likely altogether. So that's why ABC had to hand over the money they handed over. New York State, by the way, in order to make this even get to civil court, had to change its law based on the statute of limitations. So they literally said for 1 year, you can charge people and you could sue people for something that happened 100 years ago. Go for it. Literally, they did that for one person to go after Trump, who had to pay her $5 million in damages. Trump's lawyers argue the judge made indefensible evidentiary rulings, allowing inflammatory testimony and propensity evidence. Trump's legal team calls the accusations politically motivated hoaxes, and they deny the alleged incident ever occurred. Well, the BBC admitted it made an error of judgment when editing part of Trump's speech from January 6, 2021 in their program Panorama. The edit appears to say that Trump actively incited violence. Listen.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
I mean, if that isn't a clear case of defamation, clearly you edit something to make somebody look like they tried to start an insurrection. That is what led to the mess in this country, nearly a civil war. Thank you, BBC. So their top management was asked to leave. They're already gone. And now Trump wants $1 billion. That could actually bankrupt and close the BBC. ByHeart announced a voluntary recall of all of its baby formula products after an outbreak of infant botulism. At least 15 babies in 12 states were hospitalized. So if you have that product of baby formula, only about 1% of baby formulas are that. Throw it out. And check out this bridge, a massive bridge collapse at a hydropower station in southwest China. This happened yesterday, sending concrete and steel plunging everywhere into a river. Nobody was hurt. Apparently, they saw some cracks beforehand, so they got people off in time. But next time you're on the GWB complaining, be happy that your bridge was not built in China. 7:12 right now. Sun and clouds this morning, cloudy this afternoon, breezy, a little milder, maybe an afternoon shower. Highs about 50. Mike will be back with the full Garden State forecast in a minute. You're watching on New Jersey Mornings. Don't go away.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
Welcome back to ONNJ Mornings for your Wednesday. I'm Ken Rosato, 7:15, taking your calls at 888-658-0234. 888-658-0234. Call about anything, political, non-political. How did you spend Veterans Day? Did you thank a vet? Did you buy a vet some coffee or just talk to them about what happened in the war for them or their time serving? Love to hear from you. 888-658-0234. Straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta. Not quite as brisk and blustery as yesterday. That was a little surprising. Those winds were not friendly.
They were not friendly. The dry air just kind of added the insult to injury with the gusty winds. And yes, it felt like the dead of winter after such a lovely mild trend over the weekend. Well, this morning, we still have a wind chill, not as harsh as yesterday, but we're hovering right around that freezing mark statewide with those gusty winds, even down toward Mount Holly and Atlantic City, 35 and 34 degrees for you. So that cold weather sticks around today. Even this morning at 7:16, bringing back a little bit of warmth through this afternoon, but again, not a whole lot. Getting up to a high of 52 degrees over in Matawan, 52 in Freehold, and 54 down by Toms River. Less chance of flurries today, more so the clouds that'll be around for the afternoon, and a few breaks of sun in there as well. Actual air temperatures back down into the 30s tonight. The wind chill likely teetering on the upper 20s right there through tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow afternoon, it'll feel a little bit milder, like it's in the 40s, but we're right back down in the freezer for Friday morning. 28 in Morristown, 23 in Flemington on Friday morning. So we're not done with the cold weather just yet. Even on Saturday morning, probably the coldest yet, teens, is how it will feel like statewide, even down toward places like Newark and Hackensack, mid-20s for you. So very, very chilly weather on the way to start the weekend, but even though there's a little bit of a milder trend by Sunday as we warm up to near 60. So the clouds are still in play. You see some of these lake effect snows off to our north. Those swing on by, staying probably clear of New Jersey. That's why I think we just get the clouds today. Maybe a passing rogue sprinkle at times across the northern part of the state. But overall, it's a dry trend the rest of the week, with temperatures only reaching 50 by Saturday, and then Sunday could see some showers as we climb to near 60. The 7-day forecast doesn't show a whole lot of warmth. In fact, it is pretty chilly, but we'll detail it anyway, break it down for you. Maybe grab the extra cup of coffee, hot tea, hot cocoa, whatever kind of warm beverage. Yes, I see Ken holding it up. With the Pomeranians today? No?
Pomeranians. Yep.
Oh,
But it
there it
is
is.
quick check coffee. It's quick check in there, so that's all good. I just keep it in. The mug is bigger. The quick check coffee mugs or cups are 10 ounces. This is 16, so I get more of that yummy quick check coffee in there. Just saying. So okay, love it. Thank you, sir. So we have been warned, duly warned by Mike,
Yes.
that this is no longer spring or summer.
No.
Okay. Sob. Thank you, Mike. We'll check back with you, bud. Right now it is 40 degrees, northern New Jersey. We have a temp down in Trenton of 36, and it's 37 degrees in Vineland. In terms of traffic, we do have a lot going on. Man, do we have a lot going on. It's funny because yesterday, being Veterans Day, was relatively light. But today, if we go over to 295, we have a tractor trailer fire southbound north of exit 40, which is Route 38, Mount Laurel Township. Do we have that? That's 295. That was our first shot, Pam. The 295 at 38. Do we have it? There we go. So if you look there on the upper part of your screen, you'll see you'll see the brake lights as they're hitting their brakes, because that is right at the interchange with 38. So that's a tractor trailer fire, which is why they're hitting their brakes. In Mount Laurel Township, the right lane and right shoulder are closed as you come around that bend at the top. We have something going on the Garden State Parkway. Pam, you could set up the turnpike shot, please. We have a vehicle fire on the Garden State southbound north of 82A, Route 37 west in Toms River. Right shoulder is blocked, and there's a crash investigation going on the helix. So we have problems on the helix in both directions right now. There's a crash investigation on 495 westbound coming out of the city, just east of Kennedy Boulevard, Union City. All lanes are closed. You hear that? So coming out of New York into New Jersey on the helix at the Lincoln Tunnel, all lanes are closed. That has got to be a nightmare. You know that's backed up into Manhattan right now. We're going to look for a camera shot somewhere of that, but that's got to be a mess. Now, on the eastbound side, there's a problem. We have police department activity. Maybe one caused the other, because remember, the bus lanes The eastbound bus lanes are part of the westbound lane. So methinks something happened with the bus lane. That's what this smells like. So the exclusive bus lane is closed. So yeah, there has to be. The bus lane is closed. Eastbound, westbound. Right now, listen, folks, what I'm seeing, don't go near the Lincoln Tunnel. Don't go near the Helix. Take the Holland, take the GWB. That could be why the GWB is starting to look heavy right now. Let's first take a look at the turnpike at exit 14, I-78, 1 and 9 in Newark. The right shoulder is blocked, and now look at this. Now, the I-78 exit can take you over to the Holland Tunnel. So I think this is now a ripple effect. You're watching live on TV with me, okay? Usually the Holland approach, easy at this time, or relatively easy. That's what you have right now. So I think we had an accident from, I'm trying to deduce this because they didn't give us a report. I think we had some kind of an accident at the Helix. That caused a ripple effect. People are trying to avoid the Lincoln Tunnel. They're now going to the Holland and the GWB, which is why they're both so heavy right now. 7:20 in the morning. This is not going to be a good morning, folks. Just giving you a heads up. If you're expected in the city at a certain time, call them now and tell them you're going to be late. That's what you got. Let's come back on cam. We'll set up our GWB approach. Upper and lower level GWB 8095. Now, at this hour, usually you got 25 to 30 minutes. We're already told it's 35 to 40. You can see there's a broken down truck there in that shoulder. This is not going to be good. In my 25, 27 years of doing morning news and traffic for New York City, I know that this scenario that just got painted is going to be ugly, folks. So this may be the majority of what we talk about. Just beware. Okay. It is 7:21 right now. Former New Jersey Governor Jim McGreevey and City Council member James Solomon are the two front runners in the crowded Jersey City runoff for mayor race. Several major local political figures and organizations have begun endorsing either candidate. In Jersey City, you have to get 50% of the vote. So even though these candidates got above, I think, 38 to 40%, they needed 50% to win, and neither one got that. So now this is what it's down to. It's kind of interesting. Solomon calls himself the change candidate, focusing on affordability and development issues. McGreevey is leveraging his many years of experience. Both candidates are Democrats, so I don't know what kind of change we could have. It's Democrat and Democrat running to replace a Democrat. Jersey City is New Jersey's second largest city, and at its rate of growth, at some point it could overtake Newark. It is a quickly growing and fabulous city. It's a great city. So is Newark. 7:22, New Jersey's state Senate advanced legislation that would ban for-profit charter schools and would increase a number of requirements for all charter schools. We're just showing random charter schools, part of New Jersey's system. There's nothing specific to any of them. Just want to make that clear. This is about all charter schools in general. Proposed rules include mandatory online posting of budgets, full compensation details of charter leaders, and more. The legislation would also restrict virtual charter schools and would impose residency requirements for at least a third of charter board trustees. So you can't have people like at some corporate charter school in Texas running it remotely. That's what they want. And you know what? That's not a bad idea. You keep it local and people know what the topics are and what the issues are. 7:23, 18-year-old Rutgers freshman Anthony Hanna of Morganville died after his vehicle lost control and burst into flames. It crashed into a pole October 30th. The incident happened just before midnight on Route 18. Investigators say Hanna was alone, died at the scene. The crash under investigation. May he rest in peace. A 15-year-old boy riding on an e-bike in Brick was seriously hurt after he was struck by a driver who was allegedly impaired. And in another e-bike incident, investigators in Union County say another man died in a fatal crash that involved an e-bike that collided with a police vehicle. The incidents, and we mentioned them both in the same story, even though they're not the same thing, the same incident, they're both e-bikes. And it raises concerns because you've seen it in me too, especially as you get closer to the city. E-bikes are everywhere, and younger people, especially on e-bikes, they ride them like lunatics. They think they have all the rights in the world. They go through red lights. Not everybody, but many. And they don't realize that you're just going do. Even at 25, 30 miles an hour, you don't expect somebody to fly through a red light. E-bikes are not like regular bikes that go 6 or 7 miles an hour. They can go 20 miles an hour and can cause some serious and fatal accidents, as we now see. It is 7:24. 35-year-old Eric Kunz of Keyport was stabbed to death during a fight outside the Linden TGI Sunday night. Linden police responded to a 911 call about a fight. They found Kunz unconscious. He was rushed to University Hospital where he was pronounced dead. No arrests, but police are investigating and they're asking anyone with information to call. It will remain anonymous. No information will get out. Two 13-year-old girls from Washington Township, get this, they're in hot water They allegedly took mom and dad's car on an overnight joyride at 2 in the morning. Yeah, 13 years old, two sisters. I'm guessing twins. Don't know if they're fraternal or identical. A number of people called 911 because they saw this vehicle going all over the place really fast, out of control, crashing into various condos. Officers found a white SUV with front end damage parked nearby. Like, not us. Car is just abandoned, crashed. There it was. They later discovered the girls may have crashed into a number of properties. The good news is nobody was hurt, but there's going to be one heck of a conversation at the dinner table. 725, the New Jersey Jackals baseball team has a new group of owners led by Adolfo Wilson. More than $1 million in capital improvements will be planned for their home at Yogi Berra Stadium at Montclair State University, including upgrades to the video board, kids zone, concessions, and fan zones. I love them. They are so New Jersey to the core. The team wants to deepen ties with the community and its university campus home. Montclair alum Joe Redman was named the team's new general manager, which is so exciting. So new ownership for the Jackals. If you have never been to a Jackals game, you don't know what you're missing. It is true New Jersey hometown baseball and a lot of fun. It's just a good night to go out, take the kids, and it's not going to cost you $1 million like when you go into the major league stuff, if you know what I mean. Coming up on 727 now, when we come back, music certainly has a way of bringing people together and also bringing hope. It is something we need a lot of these days and always, but it is something we're going to be talking about. We'll explain what that's all about when we come back. The phone lines are open 888-658-0234, 888-658-0234. Call us up about anything. It doesn't have to be political. We'll take your call. What are you doing for Thanksgiving? Are you having family over? What are your recipes? We want to know about that. In fact, we're planning some great shows between now and Thanksgiving with a number of chefs from the region who are going to be showing us some great recipes. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Meteorologist Mike Favetta says sun and clouds this morning, mostly cloudy this afternoon, a bit breezy, a bit milder though from yesterday, just a little. Chance of an afternoon shower, highs close to 50. The full Garden State forecast when we come back. You're watching ONNJ Mornings, seen daily at ONNJ.com, Roku, Fire TV, News On, Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, YouTube, Facebook, X, and now streamed live on Substack, Rumble, Twitch, and Local Now. We're coming right back. It is 728.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
Very good morning. It is 40 degrees, 7:30 straight up, Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. I'm Ken Rosato, and welcome back to ONNJ Mornings. Sun and clouds this morning, mostly cloudy this afternoon, breezy, a tiny bit milder than yesterday. It won't feel quite as cold, but it's still going to be breezy. Chance of an afternoon shower, highs about 50, but we won't see the snow flurries at least today, right? Meteorologist Mike Favetta with the detailed Garden State forecast for everybody up, down, left, and right. Good morning to you, Mike.
Good morning, Ken. It really got people talking yesterday when they saw the snow. Like, was this expected? This seems so
Mhm.
sudden. And yes, we've kind of been talking about it for about a week. When you see these snow flurries in the forecast and thinking it's always the first flakes. Always the first flakes of the season that get everybody all excited. And here we were yesterday watching the flakes fall. A little bit of a light accumulation in some spots, primarily on the car tops, the decks. I showed you that photo yesterday. And now we're just left with that brutal cold that makes it feel quite unpleasant through this afternoon. Wind gusts right now anywhere from 9 to 10 miles per hour, and in South Jersey, while we begin our forecast in the low 40s, we only warm into the mid 50s today. Maybe a few more breaks of sun toward Avalon and Cape May get you down to 50s, up to 56 degrees. Well, with the average high being 57, again, this is in Newark. We're only making it up to 54 today, so still a chilly feel. A lot of the flurries today upstate New York. Here in New Jersey, we just have the clouds around today. And again, with a few breaks of sun in the forecast this afternoon. Not all gray at all times, but you can kind of layer on those clouds pretty thick into the afternoon. Then by tomorrow morning, a little bit brighter, more sunshine. Doesn't do anything to warm us up, though. It stays chilly into the end of the day. A few flurries go by to our north, and I think we're still dry going into Friday with another round of cold weather. Actual temperatures holding in the 40s much throughout the day. So it's this reinforcing shot of cold air that comes on in today, makes it feel quite chilly, keeping a lot of those snow showers off to our north. We just get the clouds for the rest of the week, and then another round of chilly weather for Friday into Saturday morning. Clear sky sets up for the first half of the weekend, but beyond that, could see another round of quick light showers that come through on Sunday. And again, it'll be very light, I think, by the end of the weekend. You see the rain here. So as far as temperatures go, we'll hold about 5 to 7 degrees below average right throughout the rest of the week into the weekend. Temperatures start off around freezing each morning, briefly warming on Sunday, and then right back down into the freezer on Monday and Tuesday. So no real warm up ahead that lasts more than, say, a few hours. Even down the shore, our highs may make it to 65 degrees. Granted, could be a few showers in there as well, maybe a few hours of bright sky, but it's another cold front that sweeps through and drops our temperatures back down into the 50s. So some chilly, prolonged cold weather on the way, Ken. Making it, if you want to catch the northern lights again tonight, if you missed it last night, got to bundle up in all those extra layers.
I can't believe that we could see the northern lights into northern New Jersey. That's just
Yeah.
nuts. I don't know if that's good or
Uh-huh.
unnerving. Oh, you have it? Oh, that's right.
We
That's why.
have a photo.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's the pic. Go ahead, Pam, please. I'm so sorry, Pam. That's the shot. I was wondering why Pam was showing us this. I thought it was just a pretty shot. I'm like, duh. That was Pam. Shot that last night. That is so cool. Wow. I
Very
mean, that is
cool.
literally a potential once in a lifetime for us here, unless you travel to northern climes. There we go. More northern than
True.
us. So cool. Pam, thank you for that. See, Pam's a mom. See, moms are more on top of this stuff. We're the dopey boys. We're
Right.
never on top of this stuff. Thank
Now,
you, Pam.
important
We
to note,
appreciate
it
you.
is easier to see with a long exposure setting on your phone or a professional camera rather than the naked eye. As Pam was saying before, it was like a faint pinkish hue to the sky when you looked out yourself, but you put your phone on like a 3-second shutter and you can see all those colors that she took. So
And the phones
keep
do
that in
have that
mind if you're going to
setting.
be out tonight.
You do have the
They
setting on
do.
your phone. I had that. If you go to the advanced settings on the phone, you
Yes.
can open the shutter longer and just
Uh-huh.
make sure your phone is set somewhere so it's not in your hand. Even if you think you're not moving, you are. Set it against something, turn it on, let it go for a while. That's very cool and good advice. Thank you, Mike. Oh, stop. Pam is saying Google phone
They're
is the
not
best.
sponsors, but if they were,
No.
I'd be promoting the
Yes.
heck out of them.
Yeah, that was a great I will say that was a great shot. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, thank you, bud. We appreciate you. Very cool. 44 degrees now, northern New Jersey, and 36. What a disparity in temperature. 36 in Trenton, inland. So inland is where it's really cold, that Delaware Valley chill. And then as you get north toward as you get toward the river, I guess they get that river effect. Hudson River is a little warmer yet, so it's 44 in northern New Jersey. That's quite an 8-degree span doesn't usually happen. In terms of traffic, we have a lot of that. So let's go first to 495. This is the Helix. Okay, you see the lights flashing in the middle. We talked about that before. This is a mess. So apparently there was an issue at the bus lanes, and the bus lanes are part of the westbound side, but they head eastbound. So there must have been some kind of a crash that happened at the bus lanes. So there's, yes, a crash investigation that's happening right now, 495 westbound. You can see right by Kennedy Boulevard. That's where there's a number of emergency vehicles. And as a result, there's police department activity also on New Jersey's, on 495 eastbound. So you got a mess in both directions as a result, making your way into the Lincoln Tunnel. And that's why we're told now it's 40 minutes to get in via the Lincoln. You might want to avoid that if you can. Now, we have residual problems elsewhere because of that. Let's go over to the New Jersey Turnpike. And what we have here is a disabled vehicle on the Turnpike in a roadway northbound south of interchange 14, which is I-78 in Newark. That is causing problems. But on top of that, when you get off that exit, you could head to the Holland Tunnel. And I think a lot of people are headed that way to avoid the Lincoln. And that's why we have a lot of traffic right now. Usually Pam will tell you, you see a split screen of traffic. We have it all on the right now. So that means those are folks headed to I-78. Those folks are affected as well. This is a mess. If we go over to 295, we have a tractor trailer fire that is reported southbound just north of exit 40, which is Route 38, Mount Laurel Township. Again, this is a tractor trailer fire, 295. You can kind of see, looks like they may have cleared it up. 15 minutes ago, that was bumper to bumper, making your way up toward the top of the screen. So we'll check on that to see if that was cleared. We also have issues right now on 208 southbound north of Grandview Avenue and Wyckoff to south of Maple Avenue, Fairlawn. That is just volume. That's about a 2-mile stretch of delays. And we look at the we told you Holland Tunnel right now is 25 to 30. GWB upper and lower level now very slow. And I think a lot of people trying to avoid the other approaches. Yesterday, the GWB was so good. Today, not so much, 45 minutes in to Manhattan via the GWB. So pack your patience. You're going to need extra travel time making your way into Manhattan today. Call ahead, let them know, hey, I'm going to grab a cup of coffee because I'm going to be at least half an hour late to work, just so you know. Or take mass transit. 737 and music certainly has a special way of bringing people together. And in what we're going to be talking about now, it's also bringing hope, and we'll tell you why. You'll see why. Alzheimer's New Jersey is raising awareness and needed funds for families impacted by Alzheimer's disease. This Saturday, their annual Rock to Fight Alzheimer's event will bring local musicians, communities, and supporters together for a night of great music and even greater purpose, supporting the programs and services that help thousands of New Jersey families facing Alzheimer's every year. With us this morning is Ken Zanes, who is president and CEO of Alzheimer's New Jersey. Good morning to you and good to have you on, Ken.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You bet. And I speak to you as a person who has a 95-year-old dad who's going through a very advanced dementia right now. And he still has his moments. First, let's just talk for people who don't understand the difference between, I mean, they're all in the same spectrum, right? Dementia and Alzheimer's, but kind of talk about where the line is drawn. What is Alzheimer's versus dementia?
Sure. So actually they're the same. Dementia is the umbrella term, and Alzheimer's disease is the most common form of dementia, but there are others. So think of dementia as the big general term, and then Alzheimer's disease falls underneath, as do, other types of dementia. So we say Alzheimer's disease and other types of dementia.
Gotcha. And I'm so glad you clarified because I literally, you get so wrapped up that you don't even bother to check on your phone. Like,
I
what is
know
the difference?
it's
And thank you for that.
people get confused, but just think of, like I said, I love that umbrella analogy because that's really what dementia is, and then the others fall underneath.
Gotcha. And thank you. That makes it very clear. And I'm seeing when I was a kid, you had the occasional person who had this. It is so prevalent. I know so many, maybe it's just because I'm encountering it now in my life. I have so many friends whose parents are going through this. And that's why I am so happy that you are heading up this event and this organization. So talk about how Rock to Fight Alzheimer's got started and this wonderful fundraising event you're doing.
Well, so we wanted to do something that would be a little bit different, that would maybe attract a different audience than comes to some of our other events like our gala and our walk. So because there's so much research about the beneficial effects of music and Alzheimer's disease. Science really thinks that the musical memories are stored in a part of the brain that is the last affected by the disease. And so we know that music can stimulate memories, it can reduce stress, it can reduce agitation. So we wanted to combine a lot of things together. Jersey Shore music is so popular. We looked at some of the venues in the Jersey Shore area, particularly in Monmouth County, and it just all came together with the help of 3 bands, Ebro Bandits, Shut Up Gus, and the Eddie Testa Band, hugely popular Jersey Shore bands. They've been really great, in helping to promote the event. Last year, we had over 200 people, and we hope to have double that this year.
I love it. And just to reinforce what you're saying, anecdotal story, my dad, he's in a facility right now. And when somebody comes around, there's a guy who comes around a couple of times a week and plays an accordion and plays all these old songs. And sometimes he forgets my name, but he remembers every word to every one of those songs. And he loves it. He lights up like a Christmas tree when that happens.
Exactly. And science thinks that that's exactly what happens, that music lights up parts of the brain. And especially if it's familiar music, maybe theme songs from old TV shows or music that reminds someone of a particular event in their life. And so we see it all the time. And so this event just kind of emphasizes that and brings it all together.
And that facility, by the way, keeps MeTV on in the background, which is one of our sister channels, and they have the old TV shows. So it's funny you say that. It's now I understand. There's logic behind all of this. So the funds you raise at Alzheimer's New Jersey stay here in New Jersey. Why was that so important to you?
We're a community organization, and people with Alzheimer's disease, families especially, they need local support. So much of the resources and the help that families need is all about local support. So being a local organization, raising money that stays in the community, we like to say that our focus is the daily needs and challenges of New Jersey families with Alzheimer's disease. So that's our focus. Our programs like our support groups, our education programs, our respite care and wellness program, they're all focused on local families in New Jersey. That's why we raise our money, and that is where the money goes to support those programs.
Well, I love it. What's a website for people to get more information about the organization and the event?
So it's alznj.org.
alznj.org, and it is the annual Rock to Fight Alzheimer's event taking place this Saturday. It's starting at 1:30, right? Bar Anticipation in Lake Como?
Yep. Doors open
And
at 1:30 at Bar A, the first band, the Eddie Testa Band, 2:00. And then we go from there. We end at around 6, but depending on how long each band will play for about an hour. We have 3 bands. So somewhere around 3:00. We also have a 50-50. We have raffle baskets. So it'll be a fun afternoon, maybe a nice celebration before the holiday rush sets in.
Perfect. Ken Zanes, President CEO of Alzheimer's New Jersey. We appreciate you. Thank you for doing what you do. God bless you, and have a great event this weekend. We appreciate you.
Thanks so much, Ken. We appreciate being on this morning.
Thank you. And we're coming right back.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey. with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
Welcome back to ONNJ Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 7:45, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta with the Garden State forecast. No snow flurries this morning, Mike.
No, we're in the clear, I think, for the rest of today, but there will be some clouds around and the winds return this afternoon. If you noticed, yesterday morning, the winds, yeah, it was a little breezy, but it really got gusty by the afternoon. Same thing happens again today. We start off chilly with temperatures holding in the 30s, but we eventually climb into the upper 40s there from West Milford and Wayne. Maybe make it up to 51 in Jersey City. More clouds, more wind throughout the day into this afternoon. If you're looking for warmth, probably got to wait until the end of the month. We likely will be slightly above average as we head into the few days before Thanksgiving. All of this warm weather is forecast for the eastern half of the U.S., and that could include us here in New Jersey, with slightly higher than rain chances, higher than average rain chances going into the end of the month as well for portions of the West. I think we'll see, again, more so the temperature trend going up rather than the precipitation trend. The next few days featuring plenty of chilly weather with the healthy dose of clouds. Saturday cool, but Sunday much milder as we briefly warm up to 60 with the warm front, and then temperatures come crashing back down, only into the 40s as a high by the end of the week. And then as we head into the rest of the week, the 7-day forecast has plenty of clear sky around. I see the camera shifted in the last commercial break, so I have to fix that. Excuse me. We'll go take care of that, Ken. And I'll give you another update with a complete look of the forecast in just a few minutes.
I was enjoying it. See, I have the luxury of having a close shot, so I can
Yep.
move all over those. I got like all this extra room. You have to use the full screen. So let me let you
Yeah.
go. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. It's 44 degrees now, northern New Jersey, and 36 still. A big disparity of 8 degrees between northern New Jersey, northeastern New Jersey toward the Hudson River, and as you get down inland by the Delaware Valley and Trenton along the Delaware River. It's 8 degrees cooler right now. Very interesting. In terms of traffic, we do have a lot of it. Let's start out, if we can, on the Garden State Parkway. Pam, we don't have this camera. Don't worry about it. This is Garden State Parkway northbound, north of exit 144, which is Route 510 in Newark, right lane block. We'll try to get you a camera shot in just a minute of that. There's another issue on the Garden State Parkway further south, about 9 miles. This is a crash on the GSP northbound by the entrance ramp at 135 Central Avenue in Clark with one lane block there. Now, this is something that's been going on much of the morning. A disabled vehicle on the Turnpike Hudson County Extension. This we do have, Pam. This is 490. I'm sorry, the Turnpike at 14 that you have there. So this is a disabled vehicle causing this mess right now on the New Jersey Turnpike. Disabled vehicle on the Hudson County Extension outside the interchange 14C toll plaza in Jersey City. There we go. So this is just as you leave the toll plaza. This is what you're going to come into right here, causing an absolute mess. We have a tractor trailer fire now reported on 295 southbound, north of exit 40, Mount Laurel Township. The right lane of 3 lanes closed. And if we can go over to the 495 cams, this is an issue, a crash investigation, 495 westbound east of Kennedy Boulevard in Union City, and it's causing problems in both directions. So there's the bus lane that uses, there we go, look at this mess. Wow. You can see the flashing lights in the middle. So as you approach the Lincoln Tunnel, which is what those people in the middle are doing, okay, you could see that they're slow. There's a lot of rubbernecking there. And you could see the westbound side, which is normally the bus lane, that's not working. They got that shut down. So if you normally take one of the express buses into Manhattan, that's a problem. You can't take it right now. Or I guess the buses are going to have to use, they're going to be late because they're using the regular lanes. They can't use the express bus lane because that's shut down from an earlier crash investigation. So pack your patience, give yourselves extra travel time. That's forcing a lot of people to go over to the Holland and the GWB. Holland is now reporting 40-minute delays. And if we go over to the GWB cams, you'll see what's going on with that too. That's pretty slow for this hour. We're talking 40 to 45 minutes in. And I think because everybody's trying to avoid the Lincoln and they're going to the Holland and GWB. And that truck's been broken down there for about an hour. Hopefully that'll get cleared up soon. Kind of a mess. All right, it is 7:50 right now, and he is a Republican running for Congress in New Jersey's 9th Congressional District, Billy Prempa. Remember that name. He is here to talk about the reopening of the government, hopefully, and why the Democrats put the nation through the shutdown to begin with. Good morning, Billy. Good to have you on today.
Good morning, Ken. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Now, the House has the big vote tonight, all right? And my fear, because the Republicans never saw a disaster they didn't go for. They just, now you could smell it. Now the Republicans are like, here's my big chance to get that library built for my local town. Don't be stupid. Just vote for the continuing resolution and reopen. Am I wrong? Or do you want to like scream at these people?
I want to scream at both sides, the Democrats and the Republicans. This is something that could have been resolved much earlier. I believe that a lot of these stall tactics were being used as leverage. We've seen several Democrat elected officials say that we can use this leverage to essentially get what we want. But this is the problem that people are having with our government right now. People need results, and people need our government to continue moving forward. The continuing resolution, they should have passed it so that they can at least extend the benefits for the Affordable Care Act prior to the pre-COVID subsidies and allow the SNAP benefits to at least continue so they can open the government and get things done. But I think this was a stall tactic done deliberately to stifle the elections that we recently went through.
How about this? When you get into Congress, and I know you will, sir, how about you introduce legislation that makes it illegal for Congress members to leave if they don't have a budget passed yet, that they, sorry, because you would be one of these now people stuck, that you can't leave. You have to negotiate till you figure it out. Get in a room, or at least the congressional leaders get in a room, and you can't say, that's it, I'm taking my marbles and going home. You're stuck, and you can't move until you figure it out. And you can't even go for a damn bathroom break. Do your job. That's your job, to pass this. We pay you to do this. You have but one job. It just pisses me off that now both sides think Chuck Schumer thinks this is a good opportunity. Stop this. You have people not getting SNAP benefits. You got to feed their kids. You have people stuck in airports. I know several people who fly for a living. They had to spend thousands on last second flights. That comes out of their pocket. Doesn't get reimbursed. Spend thousands on last minute flights and hotels because they got stranded. We had people who missed events because they got stuck in airports and never got to their events. This isn't funny. This is affecting real people in a real way. Lifetime effects. This stuff has got to end. Would you be for something like that?
1,000,000%. And it's actually baffling that we don't have something like that already that's been passed through the House. Because if you were driving your car down the road and you got a flat tire and you left it alongside the highway and said, you know what, I'll come back on Wednesday or I'll make a decision later. Here's a good opportunity to cause some drama. Your car is not going to be on that highway for much longer. They're going to take it away. And our government needs to operate effectively in order for anything to get done. So the fact that we have Congress people essentially using their position as a activist vote to not allow things to get passed so that they can get their pet projects across or whatever agenda they have in mind to stifle the elections, I think that hurts the American people overall. And I think it hurts Democrats and Republicans. I think they really need to get it together. And I think that's a resolution that would really get things done.
I tell you what, see, up until now, Democrats, because they had the mass media wrapped around their finger, and there was no such thing, or certainly not to this extent, as social media. So they got the message out that they wanted. They wrote the message verbatim. The Republicans are closing down the government, even though it was them. The Republicans blame those greedy, mean Republicans trying to starve children and women and et cetera. That was the message they communicated. Now the American people see through that, because now they realize that a handful, 5 Democrats in the Senate, held us up. The same thing they now voted for the other day to approve, they were offered 5.5 weeks ago. So for 5.5 weeks, they ended up getting nothing. They ended up only imposing their BS on America for 5.5 weeks. and they ended up getting nothing in return. Even the comedians, the late night comedians, mocked them for it. It's like, what are you doing? But if it was Republicans who did this, there would be no mocking. We would have hell to pay. So this is pathetic that this happened. You had air traffic that was sacrificed. Potentially could have been air crashes. You had Newark Airport impacted more than any other airport in the whole country, 6 to 8% reduction in flights. People are impacted by this. So this has got to stop. And I hope they learn never to let this happen again.
100%, man. And to be fair, I don't think that this is just a Democrat issue. I think that Republicans at the same time have a little bit to blame here. Like I said, like these should have been able to pass these benefits, because if that's the excuse that they're using as to why we have to hold government hostage, let's take the ball away from them. Okay, let's extend these benefits, let's reopen government, and then we'll reevaluate and reassess these issues at a later date. Because at the end of the day, our country needs to keep running. Our federal workers got to get paid. People got to put food on the table, and our country needs to continue to run effectively. All this did was set us back.
I'm with you. And you are running Billy Prempa in next year's midterm congressional election. At what point does Billy Prempa ramp up the campaigning to full speed and let everybody know, hey, you did the governor thing. It's now time to pay attention to Congress?
Oh yeah, well, we've already started a campaign, and for people that want to get involved, you can get on the website www.billyprempa.com, volunteer, make a donation, get involved with the campaign in any way that you can. As you've seen over the years, I'm not one to typically sit on the sidelines while politics moves us forward. So shortly after the governor's race that happened a few days ago, we already hit the ground running. We've actually been running since before that.
And forgive me for not saying a belated Happy Veterans Day. For those who don't realize, Billy Prempa is a veteran, served our country bravely, and we appreciate that. And thank you. Are you at least encouraged when you see more people now coming around and waking up to thanking veterans for their incredible service?
It definitely is refreshing, because there was a time when I was younger where veterans didn't get the same type of respect that they do today. And I would love to see our military continue to grow and see more people continue to protect our country. But more importantly than that, I think our leadership in Washington, D.C. also needs to give our veterans and our federal workers the respect that they deserve, and stop playing games with our money, stop playing games with our country, and allow us to do what needs to be done.
Amen. I was even reticent to mention my own dad was a Marine sergeant, and I yesterday with everything going on, I never even mentioned Dad. Thank you for doing what you did as well. So, Billy Prempa, Republican running for Congress in New Jersey's 9th congressional district. That's the Patterson area. Going to be there in next year's midterm elections. Hope you get out and support him. Billy Prempa, always thank you for coming on this morning, and as always, we appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. Give Dad a call.
I will do that. Yeah, well, I'm going to actually see him today, so I will definitely do that. Thank you, Billy, and thank you again for your service.
God
It
bless.
is 7:57. We are coming back in just a few minutes. 888-658-0234. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings. Don't go away.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
Very good morning to you. It is 8 a.m., Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. Welcome back to ONNJ Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, and we'll take your calls. 888-658-0234. Sun and clouds this morning, mostly cloudy this afternoon, a little breezy, little tiny bit milder, though, than yesterday. It was a little blustery then. Today, you maybe see an afternoon shower, highs close to 50. We had the meteorologist Mike Favetta. Full check of the Garden State forecast from Rockland down to Vineland and Cape May and over to Philly and Asbury Park. This is like a test to see if I could remember every town in
Oh,
New Jersey.
yes. All the way
I'll work on it.
to, oh, let's see, like Netcong, right? You got to get that northwestern
Netcon,
corner of the state. Yeah,
absolutely.
that's right.
Lake
Right
Como,
before you cross. That too.
Lake
That
Como. A
too.
lot of people don't realize we have a Lake Como in New Jersey, down the shore.
Little like a postage stamp sized
Yep,
town. little
it is.
little enclave. Hey, well, we've got some gorgeous weather today to enjoy a little bit more sunshine than yesterday, less flurries, but you still need to bundle up because it's going to feel brutally cold through this afternoon. With temperatures right now hovering just above the freezing mark, there is a little bit of a wind. We're about 5 or 6 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. Dew points are rock bottom dry down in the 20s, making it feel very chilly. Had a few clouds last night, but now we're starting to see those clouds clear out. So a few more breaks of sun as the day goes along. However, that helps to fuel more wind. And with that wind today gusting upwards of 15, 20 miles per hour, maybe a 26-mile-per-hour wind there at noon over on LBI, it stays breezy today. So wind chill is certainly going to play into today's forecast, as it will again tomorrow with another breezy afternoon ahead, upwards of 30 miles per hour. And that cold weather just keeps on pouring down from the northwest, especially with that wind direction throughout Friday, making it feel chilly for you as well. So Ken mentioned the outside chance of a passing sprinkle later on this evening. It's certainly possible, not only up north in northern New Jersey, but even down the shore. You see, there's just enough energy to allow for a little passing sprinkle or a spritz, kind of just enough to dirty the windshield on the car top, and then it moves on by. That'll be the case again tomorrow because it'll be a little bit milder than yesterday by a few degrees. So unlikely we'll see any more snowflakes, but any sprinkles that could come down likely short-lived and then move on by, immediately followed by sunshine. Very similar to yesterday, of course, with that wind in play as well. Temperatures really take a tumble. We're down in the 20s for Saturday morning, one of our coldest starts yet, bringing back that chill into the afternoon. And then I think by Saturday night into Sunday, we'll see a little bit of a warm-up with some showers that come in for Sunday morning due to the warm front that sends our temperatures into the low 60s briefly by Sunday morning. So there's a quick rise in temperatures at the end of the weekend before we see another round of cold weather come in. Don't get used to the warm weather, Ken, because it stays chilly even going into next week. We'll give you more details coming up with the weekend weather in just a few minutes.
I'm keeping that Fort Lauderdale mind going, so that's what keeps me
Yeah.
smiling. Thank you. I see all the bright colors behind me. That's my brain all the time. I'm always thinking positive. All right, nice and warm. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate you. That's why I need therapy. It is 37 degrees now. It dropped in northern New Jersey. It was significantly warmer, but we got a good wind gust that just came in. So 37 it's dropped to northern New Jersey, 37 in Trenton. So whatever winds were coming in that impacted Trenton about an hour ago, now impacting north and northeastern New Jersey. In terms of traffic, we have a mess all over the place. Let's start with the Garden State Parkway. Let's do that first camera shot, Pam, 142 Tower. So you see that moving from right to left. We have a crash on the Garden State North. Oh, now we just had we have 5 different accidents on the Garden State. Just popped up. Okay. What you're looking at first is a crash on the Garden State northbound, north of exit 144, Route 510 in Newark with the right lane block. That's causing that slowdown there. We'll let Pam rack up the 147 cam, and I'll mention something different, Pam, while you're racking up the other shot. We have a crash on the Garden State northbound south of 159, I-80 in Saddlebrook. So as you get over to the I-80 interchange with the Garden State, this is southbound from there at exit 40. At exit 159. That's new. We just got a tractor trailer fire reported 295 southbound north of exit 40, Route 38, Mount Laurel Township with the right shoulder closed. Back now to the Garden State Parkway. We got that 147 cam. Yes, we do. Look at this mess. So this is a crash on the Garden State Parkway northbound exit ramp 135 Central Ave Clark, and that's causing this residual backup. And then we'll just go. I'm just going to mention the turnpike, Pam. I know it takes a second to get that shot. We have a disabled vehicle on the New Jersey Turnpike, Hudson County Extension. This is outside interchange 14C. No, we'll go to the Turnpike, please. Outside exit for interchange 14C Toll Plaza in Jersey City, and that's blocking the left lane and causing a mess. So if we have that, I know it takes Pam is trying to punch up the shots live as I'm talking to her, throwing these at her. There we go. So that's causing this mess. And that is the New Jersey Turnpike Hudson County Extension you're looking at. And that's causing a mess for about 3 miles right now. Now, what we have going on as you make your way into the Hudson River Crossing area, you now have 20 to 25 minutes at the Holland, and that's actually your best bet. In fact, you can get off on that shot that we were just looking at. That takes you off to 78. That'll get you into the Holland Tunnel. What's going on at the Lincoln approach on 495, the Helix? The dedicated bus lanes are shut right now because there was a crash. Apparently, there was some kind of an incident involving a bus that is headed eastbound in the westbound lanes. They're supposed to, and somebody who was coming westbound. So there's an investigation, crash. There are no bus lanes. So if you take an express bus into Manhattan, it's going to cost you a lot of time today because there's lots of rubbernecking. You're going to be late. Those buses are all now running behind as a result. Your Lincoln approach, 45 minutes in. GWB is also delayed right now, upper and lower levels, bumper to bumper as a result. You can see it's going to cost you 45 to 50 in either way into Manhattan. And that truck has been in that breakdown lane for over an hour without getting any help. So we'll see what happens with that. 8:06 is our time. We'll keep our eye on that and let you know. 8:06 again, our time. A brand new destination for beauty and wellness is opening its doors in Eatontown. And it's all about helping people look and feel their best through medical expertise and modern rejuvenation. It's called Atlantic Eye. It is expanding with the launch of Wink Aesthetics Plus Wellness, offering treatments in aesthetics, skincare, and overall wellness. And with us this morning is Dr. Ronald W. Kristen, the managing partner of Atlantic Eye. Good to have you on, Dr. Kristen. Thanks for coming on.
Well, it's great to be on, Ken. Thanks so much for having us, and I appreciate the opportunity to let you know a little bit
Absolutely.
about what
Well, I'm so glad we have you on because there are a lot of procedures now. There's all this modern machinery that is out, but unfortunately, you have a lot of the clandestine folks with knockoff machinery in nail salons trying to market stuff. Why is that such a bad idea? And it is a bad idea that you don't have medical professionals dealing with this equipment. You don't know what you're dealing with there. You guys, you're a doctor. You're a professional and you have a real spa. So please talk about how important that is, not to trust a nail salon to do stuff. You are a medical doctor. Please explain.
Well, I think it really comes down to what is the evidence based in terms of these particular treatments. What we've tried to do here at Wink Aesthetics Plus Wellness is really look at the industry, look at what's out there, look at what's actually been studied, researched, and published. And with that, you have the data to support the technology, and the technology has really changed. And yes, I think that having a physician-based team, and we have a great team of nurse practitioners who are aesthetically trained, guided by us physicians, looking at this data, looking at the technology that's out there to guide what we bring to our patients. I think that's really the difference.
And that is essential.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why there are specialties, right? There's a reason why some doctors specialize in cosmetic things because this is what you do. And, other doctors they're bone doctors and they're cancer doctors. You specialize in aesthetics, and that's why you want to go to a doctor like you for this. Tomorrow's your big launch. What inspired the idea of Wink Aesthetics?
So we at Atlantic Eye have two oculoplastic surgeons. We've been doing this for a long time. And I think that really what inspired this was, again, how the industry has changed, how the technology has changed. We here at Atlantic Eye, we've been here for over 60 years. I mean, we have a reputation of bringing cutting edge technology to the area, really evidence-based. And that's where we see this aesthetics field going. Once we realized that there was this evidence-based technology out there, really showing the research that these technologies really work, really inspired us to get and develop this division and really consolidate this into one unit, which we've called Wink Aesthetics and Wellness. Also, the concept of rejuvenation. The science behind rejuvenation now is really amazing. And because of this science, because of this data driven industry now, we can present things to our patients that have shown to work. And I think that's really where we are. That's what we're so excited about. Not only the concept of beauty, but also the rejuvenation concept. Bringing wellness. So many great concepts that now are out there that we hope to consolidate into this unit.
Dr. Kristen, I know just from the reading I've done, and I'm no doctor, but I'm fascinated by the fact that you have machines. Some machines use wavelengths of different lights, right? Different LED lights or not LED, but laser lights on certain frequencies that impact collagen and skin tone. You have injectables now. You have there are just so many approaches. You have stuff that works with sound, heat, and these are very finely tuned machines, and you have all this stuff now. And talk about this at your Eatontown location and how exciting this is going to be when you open up.
Yeah. Thanks, Ken. Yeah, I mean, we are bringing really first of its kind technology to the area. And again, this has been research that we've done probably for the last 2 years before we've decided on what technology really makes sense. And we have instrumentation from radio frequency with microneedling, best of its class, which is shown to be amazingly effective for skin texture, colors, some tightening. We have the ultra clear laser, which has revolutionized laser skin resurfacing. It has 4 modes of therapy. I kind of liken it to filling a hole. When you fill a hole, you fill the bottom of the hole first, and then you do
Right.
the surface of the hole. It really, it's just what we can do with this technology now is amazing.
I love it. Doctor, we're out of time here. Please give us your website and we'll talk about tomorrow night. What's your website?
It's WinkNJ, WINKNJ.com. Please, we still would love to have you come tomorrow and just get on the website and sign up.
It's it. The grand opening of Wink Aesthetics tomorrow evening. It's in Eatontown. Check it out. Dr. Ronald W. Kristen, managing partner at Atlantic Eye. Best of luck with Wink, and we
Thank you,
appreciate
Ken.
you coming
Thank
on
you so
today.
much, and thanks for having us. We really
You
appreciate it.
bet. We
Right. Take care
appreciate
now.
you. You bet. And it is now 39 degrees, 8:12. We'll be right back.
Hey, New Jersey! Want to choose how you live as you age? Tune into AARP New Jersey's new show, The Power of Us, the show that celebrates aging with dignity, purpose, and joy. From protecting yourself against fraud, to staying healthy and aging in place, to finding purpose through volunteering, we've got the tools, tips, and stories to help you thrive. Join us on ONNJ and discover the power of us.
Welcome back to ONNJ Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 8:15, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Sun and clouds this morning, mostly cloudy this afternoon, breezy, a little milder with a chance of an afternoon shower. Highs about 50. Funny that the temperature this time of year, I notice especially the temperature just after sunset, within an hour or so, always drops a little as the winds pick up a little bit as the sun rises. Just a little zephyr of wind, and boy, does that happen. Let's go to meteorologist Mike Favetta, who will explain because the temperature has dropped to 39 in northern New Jersey and 37 in
Mhm.
Trenton, and that all happened in the last half hour. So what's that about?
That is the definition of the morning low happening right after sunrise. So good job there. Extra
Only
gold
because I
stars,
was a
Ken.
when I was a reporter, Mike, I used to stand outside to do the morning show at Channel 7
Yeah.
and literally freeze
Mhm.
my ass off. Can I say that? It's literally, because at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., you'd be like, "Woo!" You'd be out there freezing your butt, and
Right.
you have to wait 15 minutes before they come to you. It was awful. Sorry, just personal
It's
recollection.
so true, and yet with the cold weather today, you'll get the afternoon high happening around 1, 2 o'clock. Although it's really not going to feel all that warm, considering just how many clouds are around. With those winds, like Ken mentioned, lots of cold air in place today, making it feel quite chilly. So with the wind chill at 8:16 this morning, showing temperatures feeling like they're at or around freezing, right down through Trenton. 33 is how it feels like in Tom's River. That wind adding to the extra chill. So with temperatures today warming into the mid 50s, closing in on just a few degrees below average. It'll feel quite chilly in through the end of the day. The forecast wind chill does not see a warm up by much at all. Even later on tonight, we're back down feeling like we're right at or below the freezing mark into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, briefly warming into the 50s, but that wind makes it feel much colder into Friday morning, like the 20s and teens by Saturday morning. Look at that shade of blue going right down toward the coast. There it feels like 23, 6 a.m. in Atlantic City on Saturday morning, 17 in Morristown, 14 in Sussex. These are not November temperatures. It feels more like it should be in December. But we have this little Arctic outbreak coming through, with it a few clouds. Not so much any deal of the snow flurries or showers today. I think they stay to our north. So plan on the clouds at times today, followed by a brief break of sun. And this is the case right up until Saturday afternoon, where the high climbs to only 50. Now, Sunday sees a quick warm up into the low 60s. Portions of southern New Jersey could get to about 65. Granted, it's with some light rain, so it won't exactly be, the lovely weather. You can go out and take a stroll on the beach. Still, with a cold shot of air that immediately follows that, it's going to be very cold going into next week as well. So, kind of like a little tease one day, and then right back to the chill into next weekend.
You know what? That's what makes Pam, our director, happy. And as long as Pam, our director, is happy, then I'm happy. So that's all that matters. Thank you so much, Mike. It is 39 degrees now in northern New Jersey, as we mentioned earlier, and 37 in Trenton. And we have a lot of traffic to tell you about right now. So let's go right to 295. We mentioned for the last hour or so that there was a tractor trailer fire. Well, there's the tractor trailer. You could see they took the front end of the tractor trailer and moved it forward to get away from the back end. It looks like the fire was in the what they were hitched to in the back. So it looks like they got the fire out. So that's off on the shoulder, 295 at just north of exit 40, Route 38, Mount Laurel Township. That right shoulder closed there. Fortunately, it doesn't look like they're, now that the fire's out, it looks like they're driving on by. But that's what we've been talking about much of the morning, just to give you a heads up on that. We have issues on the Garden State Parkway. Multiple Garden State Parkway issues up and down. So we'll show one camera shot here, and I'll tell you about everything happening. We have a crash on the Garden State northbound, south of exit 159, which is I-80 in Saddlebrook, with the right lane blocked. Crash on the Garden State northbound, north of exit 144, Route 510 in Newark, with the right lane blocked, and that is causing that. And you can stay on that shot, Pam. Not too far away from that, just south of that, there's a crash on the Garden State northbound entrance ramp at exit 135 Central Ave in Clark, one lane block. Now we'll let Pam rack up that New Jersey Turnpike shot that we have. There are issues on 495 and on 95. So on the New Jersey Turnpike, we now have a disabled vehicle on the Turnpike Hudson County Extension outside exit for interchange 14C, causing big delays. This is by the toll plaza in Jersey City. It's actually not as bad as it was. It's still very heavy, but not as bad as it was. That's good news. Maybe that's going to pick up a little bit. And we have a crash investigation going on 495. The bus lanes are closed. So the express bus lanes you'd normally take on the helix there to get into Manhattan, The whole point of taking an express bus is you could bypass the traffic with the express lanes closed. So right now, if you take an express bus or you have a loved one who does so, they're going to be delayed getting into Manhattan by probably 45 minutes because the buses have to take the main lanes. And if you normally drive into the Lincoln Tunnel yourself, that's now going to be bumper to bumper the whole way because the buses are using your lanes. They're not in their own lanes. So you get the hint here. 40 minutes in via the Lincoln Tunnel right now. Over at the Holland Tunnel, it's 30. GWB upper and lower, pretty slow much of the morning. It's been 40 to 45. Looks like it's still that way. Upper on the right, lower on the left. 8:20 is our time right now, and youth sports build confidence and skills. And in New Jersey, thousands of young athletes participate in club and travel teams, balancing school and family with competition. Well, a new study now shows exactly how important youth sports are and how they are evolving in the U.S., right here in New Jersey. That study, the Club Sports Index, was conducted by BSN Sports. Brian Fleming is the Senior Vice President and General Manager of Club Direct for BSN Sports. We say good morning to you, Brian. Good to have you on.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You bet. It is so important to have kids, younger people involved in sports because it teaches so much teamwork, uh, success, and it also teaches loss. People need to learn about losing, right? Sometimes you got to lose because life, that's part of life's lesson. And what better way to learn about winning the right way and losing the right way than in group sports? So, how many young athletes in our state are currently participating in club sports today versus years ago?
I could, yeah, I can speak to just the country overall. We have over 60 million youth athletes now participating in youth sports, and roughly half of those are participating in organized club or travel sports. And that number has actually been on the rise over the last decade. It's become much more about competition. I mean, it's still competition, but it's about belonging, development, and communities. Families are investing more time, they're investing more energy, more resources than ever before into helping their kids grow through sports.
And the Club Sports Index looked at participation across the country. So, were there any surprises specific to New Jersey when you did that?
You know, the research that we had didn't really have any regional information that stood out from the nation. I think if we were to do another research project, which we are always looking to, do ways to learn more about our customers and find ways to innovate for them to bring solutions, I think we could focus more on specific sports, and that's where I think, especially up in the Northeast, we'd see things with sports like lacrosse, much more popular out in the Northeast than it is maybe on the West Coast.
And I'm glad you just mentioned lacrosse. Are there other sports also that are seeing higher participation in New Jersey, say, than in Arizona? And is it just like a temperature thing? What's that about?
No, we didn't see anything just from a regional basis like that. I mean, we saw that just in general popularity, basketball's leading the way nationally, soccer, football, baseball, and volleyball. One of the more exciting things that came out of it, though, was to see the incredible growth in female participation. So, sports of basketball, soccer, and volleyball in particular, that's been one of the best stories to come out of the data.
Yeah, and listen, I live part of the year in Florida, and you'd think, oh, in Florida they only have warm type sports. Hockey is huge. Maybe it's because they like getting cool in there, or because you have so many snowbird transplants from the north. Hockey, there's youth hockey all over South Florida on the ice, so it's a good way to escape the heat. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, any sport nowadays, it's not just the ones that you always see on TV. I mean, hockey obviously with the NHL, but it doesn't matter where in the country. There's facilities all over the place now that offer what would be a winter sport. You can have it down in the south, as you mentioned. If you have a summer sport, you can have it up north during the winter with the indoor facilities. So it really has become a very national option for kids to get into any sport they choose.
Yeah. And Brian, what's a website for more information?
So you can learn more about the Club Sports Index and explore how BSN Sports and Club Direct supports thousands of clubs across the country at bsnsports.com.
All right. Brian Fleming, Senior Vice President, General Manager for Club Direct for BSN Sports. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you.
You bet. Boy, that is fun. I have nephews and a niece totally into sports. They're in Florida. And I'm amazed by, again, as we mentioned, we were talking about this hockey. And when I heard about this, I thought they were joking. I thought my in-laws were pulling a prank on me. They were like, "No, youth hockey is big in Florida." And again, if you go, Pam loves hockey, so she's saying it's the best in my ear. Um, I think part of that is probably because you have so many transplants from Canada and from like upstate New York and the upper Midwest that have moved to Florida, and they brought their love of sport with them, including and especially hockey, which is very, very cool. So it's all over. Hey, who was the national champion this year, Pam? Say it in my ear. That's right, the Florida Panthers, and they play 10 minutes away from my condo in Fort Lauderdale. They're just a great team, and it's fun to see even in warm weather like that, the huge amount of participation. Fellow cats, is that what you said? Pam, she's hilarious. We'd love to take a call from you at 888-658-0234, 888-658-0234. Let us know about any sports that your kids participate in and how that, or for yourself, how did sports change your life as you were growing up? I used to participate in other stuff. I was into speech and debate. I was always a chubby kid, but maybe I should have been forced to participate in sports and I wouldn't have been. But 888-658-0234, we'd love to hear what you have to say. Pam, I would love if you have that Northern Lights picture again at the ready. We'd love to show this. For those who don't realize, that is very cool. So Pam, our director, shot this really awesome shot using her Google phone, which she had a good shutter setting on that. Google has these incredible phones that they used to have. I think they discontinued them now. But, this is the Pixel 9 Pro, and you have to set the shutter open for a few seconds, right? For night, and you set it open. So that's not just a quick snap. Oh, so it has a night sight setting. That's an incredible shot, Pam. Beautiful shot. So you set that camera, the phone, somewhere steady, and you open it up. You could kinda do it on your iPhone or your Android too. Maybe it won't be as good as that. But you have a better chance tonight of seeing the northern lights. So find a good spot that's away from light, point your phone up and set it. You can set it to keep the shutter open a few seconds, and hopefully you will capture that really good northern light shot. Not usually visible this far south because that's all the electromagnetic upper atmosphere stuff, and it's kind of cool to see. When we come back this Saturday, Montclair will be filled with the sounds of rock history, all for a good cause. We will explain. And the phone lines are open again, 888-658-0234. You're watching on New Jersey Mornings on your Wednesday. We're coming back in 2 minutes.
Hey, New Jersey, want to choose how you live as you age? Tune into AARP New Jersey's new show, The Power of Us, the show that celebrates aging with dignity, purpose, and joy. From protecting yourself against fraud, to staying healthy and aging in place, to finding purpose through volunteering, we've got the tools, tips, and stories to help you thrive. Join us on ONNJ and discover the power of us.
Very good morning. It is Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. Right now we have 40 degrees northern New Jersey, 37 in Trenton. I'm Ken Rosato. Welcome back to ONNJ Jersey Mornings. Sun and clouds this morning, mostly cloudy this afternoon. Breezy, but a little milder. Chance of an afternoon shower. Highs about 50. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with a detailed Garden State forecast. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Ken. We're laying on those clouds very thick this morning. Even though we had a brief break of sun earlier today, as is the case right now down along the parkway, especially points east of the parkway, you can see that low cloud cover that's settling in right there just in the last few minutes, making for a very great beginning to our day. And while we could see a few breaks of sun this afternoon, it'll only help enhance the winds, which are right now gusting upwards of 21 miles per hour in Atlantic City and Cape May at 8:31. So we start off our day feeling chilly down the shore, climbing to a high of only 56 degrees, which is closer to our average, but still just a touch below. And we get a few breaks of sun throughout the afternoon. There's our average high of 57. That's in Newark, and Newark's high today only makes it to about 52 or 53. So it feels quite chilly all this afternoon with the winds increasing throughout the end of the day, and of course the clouds laying on pretty thick. Throughout the remainder of this afternoon, plan on highs again, struggling to get out of the 40s most of the day. It's going to be a brief warm up, again, only to the low 50s. And then we're back in the 30s tonight. Feeling like the 20s with the wind chill throughout tomorrow. Thursday afternoon, could see a few quick sprinkles there up in northern New Jersey, but no snowflakes this time around. And it stays dry going into Friday with the northwesterly breeze. That's concerning because that brings in some drier, colder air for Friday night. So we'll be in a hard freeze again by Saturday morning, with that reinforcing shot of cold air, feeling like the teens across most of New Jersey come Saturday morning. There are the clouds, a few sprinkles off to our west through Thursday. Again, we'll likely just see most of the clouds taking over through the rest of the week. And with that, Friday morning starts off chilly and stays cold into Saturday morning where the sun returns, but it doesn't do anything to warm us up. Sunday morning could have some early morning showers, a briefly warmer feel, and then we're right back into the freezer come the start of next week. So even though we try to get some warmth in here, look what happens on the 7-day. We see that trend down into the low 50s, briefly bounce back to 60, and then right back into the cold weather into next week. Same goes for you down the shore, with your forecast pointing to temperatures at or below average, and then briefly milder on Sunday with the early morning showers before cold weather takes over again Monday and Tuesday. So really chilly weather for the long stretch ahead. I think we're in it, Ken, going this point forward.
Very good, or not so very good, depending on whom you speak to. Pam says, some. Thanks
Oh,
so
she's
much, Mike.
cheering.
She's so happy. Man, oh man. All right, Mike, thank you. It is 40 degrees now, northern New Jersey, 37 degrees in Trenton, 37 degrees also down in Cape May at this hour. Let's go over to the Garden State Parkway. We have a crash reported on the GSP northbound just south of exit 159, I-80 in Saddlebrook with the right lane blocked. If you look at the upper right of the screen, it was slower a minute ago, wasn't it, Pam? Now it looks like it's moving a little bit, but just a minute ago, that was all brake lights. So maybe they cleared that up. That's good news. We like that. If we can, let's try to get over to that tractor trailer. We have a tractor trailer fire that was reported on 295 north of exit 40, Route 38, Mount Laurel Township, with the right shoulder blocked there. We may have that. I don't know if we have that. We had it before. Okay. If we don't have it, that's okay. There it is. So the tractor trailer has been disconnected. You could see from the front part. Why am I forgetting the name of the front part? I can't remember the name of the front part of the tractor trailer. There's a term for that. The cab, I guess. Yeah, that'll work. Thank you, Pam. I'll take that. It's something. It's better to say cab than the other part of the tractor trailer. So I appreciate you, Pam. Thank you. The good news is well, no, there's the trailer is behind. That's right. Pam is saying it's the tractor trailer. So that's the tractor. The tractor is apart from the trailer. The good news is nobody got hurt. And it looks like it's not really impacting traffic heavily, but it's been there for much of the morning. So thank you for that shot, Pam. What we do have a mess with is 495. Right now, the bus lane, the express bus lane, closed. There was a crash that happened earlier. Don't know how serious that crash is, but it's still impacting traffic. So the bus lane is closed. If you take an express bus into Manhattan or know someone who does, though, there, see, look at this mess. You can see the emergency vehicles there still. So now you have traffic in both directions coming from New York, going into New York. And you can see all the express buses now have to take the main lanes. So instead of having an express benefit, you're now going to take 45 minutes to an hour to get into Manhattan as a result. So pack your patience, give yourselves extra travel time, call ahead. Thank God we're in an era of cell phones. Let the boss know this is out of your control. There's nothing you can do. Take a deep breath. And this is causing, again, delays all the way into Manhattan coming out and people going into Manhattan for about 2.5 miles. It's going to cost you 45 minutes. The Holland Tunnel is going to be 30 minutes, and the GWB upper and lower very heavy. I think everybody's taking the Holland and the GWB as alternate. Still have that. Wow, still have that. The broken down tractor trailer there. Maybe the other tractor trailer is trying to help him out. Looks like he's, hey buddy, you need a ride? But this is costing you. Yeah, Pam is making fun of the white car trying to sneak down the shoulder. Now he's stuck and no one's, oh, someone's letting him in. Someone's nice. All right. So this is costing you about 45 to 50 minutes in on the GWB. All right. Take your time. Can't do anything about it. It's one of those days. Yesterday, it was an easy ride into Manhattan. No traffic anywhere. And today, it's exactly the opposite. 8:36. And this Saturday, one of my favorite cities anywhere, Montclair. It's going to be filled with the sounds of rock history, and it's all for a good cause. The third annual The Band's Last Waltz fundraiser is taking place at another cool place, Montclair Art Museum, bringing together 85 musicians from all across northern New Jersey to recreate the legendary 1976 concert by the band. The event benefits Tony's Kitchen, a local nonprofit supporting families in need during the holiday season. Over the past 2 years, the group, the tribute show, I should say, raised about $9,000 for the organization. It's become a beloved community tradition. Fun in the process of raising money for a good cause. Joining us today is Rastafa, the producer who's behind The Last Waltz. And we say good morning to you, Rastafa. Good to have you on today.
Thank you, Ken. It's good to be on. Nice to finally meet you.
Nice to meet you. Absolutely. I got to come and meet you in person. I used to live in North Caldwell, right next door to Montclair. And Montclair is one of my favorite places in the whole world. I love it. And that art museum, what a treasure. And not many communities have such a cool art museum. So now what was the inspiration behind the Last Waltz tribute? Talk about that.
So this is a little bit of an embarrassing story, but I have friends that actually produce the same show. So this is how popular the show is, especially in the Northeast, particularly in New Jersey. So I have a good friend named Sam Tickman who's been doing it quite a long time in New York at the bitter end, and they always do it the week of Thanksgiving. I've had friends from the Spare Tire Band. They do their own work up in Morristown, but they're actually moving it to another location this year. And then, of course, obviously, Allele Productions, they've constantly have done it in Hudson County, New Jersey. I believe this is their 10th one or going on more. Again, it's hard to keep up. But for me, I always wanted to do it and be a part of it. Nobody ever asked me. So I thought to myself, okay, I've produced shows before, for profit and nonprofit. Why not do one? And funny story, the first time that we did it was at Porta on Bloomfield Avenue in Montclair, and we sold out, I think, 8 days prior to the actual event. The second year, we moved it to Montclair Art Museum because we wanted to do it initially the first year, but we couldn't. The second year, we were able, and we sold out, I think, 3 days prior to the event. And yeah, the first year we had 50 musicians. The second year we had 75. Yeah, this year we have about 85.
And what do musicians love more than to get together with other musicians and just jam? I mean, that is like, I know a lot of musicians, I have relatives who are musicians. That's not work for them. That's love, right? They just love to get together and jam.
Right. And a lot of times, a lot of these musicians don't even know about each other. So, like, they're friends of mine and they're people that I admire. So, I feel like kind of like a theater director where I just like, okay, this character goes here, this character goes here. Check that ego, make sure that ego doesn't, feel not stimulated here. So, it's a lot of work. But the funny thing is, though, they're all friends of mine and we all have a love for music. It doesn't necessarily matter the genre, it doesn't matter the band, no pun intended. But in this case scenario, it's beautiful because it produces a kind of result that the public needs, especially during a time like this where everybody's divided on one issue or the other. But when it comes to the issues of the needs of people, whether it be food, whether it be clothing, whether it be job opportunity, whether it be housing, this is what I live for. And again, I do just as much as profit as well as nonprofit work. They equally mean something to me.
That is so cool, and you're right. You know, that's the nice thing about music. Yeah, we all have musical tastes, but it doesn't get personal. It's about the beauty and the art of the music, and that's so cool you just check the politics at the door. Let's just bring the music together and have a good time and raise money in the process. God bless you for that. And talk about the impact the fundraisers had because you guys have raised a good amount of money so far, and it's growing. So talk about that.
Well, yeah, so we've worked together with Tony's Kitchen, which, by the way, if you don't know about Tony's Kitchen, you should. They've been around since the 80s. They've been killing it when it comes to just influencing communities, not just in Montclair, but also in West Orange, my hometown, and Bloomfield. And they've helped out God, thousands upon thousands of people with resources, and Marin, who's like one of the, I think she's the executive director over there. She's incredible to work with, and has always been a proprietor to, what we're doing. As a matter of fact, when we first did it, she was surprised we were able to do what we were able to do. She had no idea really the magnitude of what we were trying to achieve. And this year, we're also introducing a second organization to kind of benefit from this, and it's called Make the Road New Jersey. I needed an organization that represented the housing crisis that we have, particularly in the state of New Jersey, due to like whether it be gentrification, whether it be due to unfair landlords and policies and property taxes, which by the way are ridiculous and
Yeah.
nobody should be living under these circumstances. And you could say it's a little bit of activism, but at this point,
Okay.
it's more than just being, the guy on the box screaming at the high lungs like it's 12 o'clock and all's not well. It's about actually doing something about it. And I encourage people, don't just think about it, do it. Because if anybody told me a couple years ago saying, hey, you can't do this or you're not going to be able to do this, I'm the complete opposite. Take on the challenge. I'm a son of a United States Marine, so I don't have any fear in me whatsoever. Plus, I'm a man of God. I fear nobody.
Amen. I'm both of those things. I'm also a son of a United States Marine and a man of God. I was a priest. You're an awesome man. That's why I adored you the second I had you on. What's a website for more information to donate or to buy tickets for Staffa?
The website is Last Waltz Show at simpletix.com. That is lastwaltzshow.simpletix.com. We have over 23 sponsors. This is the largest we've ever had, the largest ensemble we've ever had. We've breaking records every year that we've done this. I want to encourage you that if you've never heard this music, if you have never heard the band, if you've never seen The Last Waltz, please come to Montclair Art Museum this Saturday, November 15th. Doors are going to be open at 6:30. The show will start at 7:30. And here's a little surprise. We have a couple dignitaries that will be there, including Senator John F. McKeon, as well as the mayor of Montclair, Dr. Renee Baskinville. Please, there's going to be more surprises and special guests, and we're also live streaming this on Facebook. So stay tuned.
You're awesome, Mustafa. Come back again. We love you. You're sensational. God bless and good luck with the event this weekend.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate it. Hope to see you there. Bring your friends with you. I'd love to see you.
Done deal. We'll see you there. Have a good one. I want to see that raise a ton of money, and that sounds like a good time. We're coming right back.
Hey, New Jersey, want to choose how you live as you age? Tune into AARP New Jersey's new show, The Power of Us, the show that celebrates aging with dignity, purpose, and joy. From protecting yourself against fraud, to staying healthy and aging in place, to finding purpose through volunteering, we've got the tools, tips, and stories to help you thrive. Join us on ONNJ and discover the power of us.
Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato. 8:45, our final segment of the morning, and we're taking calls at 888-658-0234. We say last but not least for a reason, because we got a cool segment coming up. You're going to want to see this. Sun and clouds this morning, mostly cloudy this afternoon. Actually, mostly cloudy right now, too. It'll be breezy, a little milder. Chance of an afternoon shower, highs around 50 if we're lucky. Right to meteorologist Mike Favetta, the full Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Ken. If you wonder, do I carry the umbrella today or not? I'd honestly leave it at home. Probably see the best chance of a sprinkle well after dark, and that's primarily down the shore. With the forecast today dry, but lots of clouds that have moved in right now. It'll stay mostly cloudy, maybe get a peek of sun, but temperatures will not budge. They'll stay in the 40s most of the afternoon, maybe climb briefly to 51 in Newark, but again, that's going to be brief. It'll stay feeling chilly right throughout the end of the day and the end of the week, for that matter, into next week. Have to wait about 2 weeks to see a slightly warmer than average trend take over, and that's not just for us. Most of the eastern half of the U.S. is looking that way into Thanksgiving week. Back down to New Jersey with our rainfall expectation going into the end of the month to be slightly higher than average, but overall it's dry for the next few days, and with that dry, cool feel, chilly each morning, highs only climbing into the low 50s each afternoon. Sunday is briefly milder, but it comes with some rain, and then we're right back into the really chilly weather into early next week. The 7-day forecast for the shore points has temperatures a little bit milder still, maybe briefly reaching 65 on Sunday before, again, temperatures come crashing back down onto Monday and Tuesday. So this below average trend keeping us quite chilly right into the weekend, Ken.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. We got a lot of traffic to talk about right now. Have a good day, Mike, by the way. We appreciate you, sir, as always. 43 degrees northern New Jersey, 37 degrees in Trenton, 39 degrees in Cape May, and it's also 39 degrees in Vineland right now. And as we look at traffic, check out I-78. We have a disabled vehicle to report on I-78 express lanes westbound just east of exit 57. That's Route 21 in Newark. The right lane of 3 lanes closed, and it's causing the mess you see right there on your screen, causing quite the delay. We have a tractor trailer fire we reported on earlier. This is southbound on 295 north of exit 40, Route 38, Mount Laurel Township. They got the fire out. Nobody was hurt, but it's still causing a little bit of rubbernecking. Let's go over to 495 right now. There is a crash investigation. Oh, you had it. Thank you, Pam. Didn't know we were going to get that. We have a crash investigation that's been going on much of the morning. This is on the express bus lane. You've seen it if you ever go into the Lincoln Tunnel in the morning. There's that express bus lane on the westbound side. Well, let's see. Now, Pam, did they get rid of the emergency vehicles? They may have cleared that up. We had emergency vehicles, yep, in the second group of lanes from the left. So they just cleared that up. So hopefully that's fixing everything, because everything's moving. We had a mess all morning getting into the Lincoln. That looks like that's just opened up. Good news. So we had people detouring to the Holland and to the GWB as a result. We'll look at the GWB. We'll show you. GWB has been very, very heavy because people were detouring away from the Lincoln. Holland's not bad. It's 30 minutes. And right now, GWB is 40 to 45 minutes. We actually now have a problem as you cross the GWB lower level. There is a breakdown on the lower level causing delays. But the lower levels on the left, upper levels on the right, everything seems to be moving a little better because of the 495 issue being fixed. 8:49 is our time. And Belleville, I used to live in Belleville, lived there for 7.5 years. Great town. Cooking up something new. Check this out. The community is transforming a small space on Washington Avenue into this really cool concept, the Belleville Food Truck Park. Number one, who doesn't love a food truck? And then to have a dedicated space for it, brilliant. So it'll feature rotating food trucks serving everything from smash burgers and fusion Asian dishes to specialty cupcakes, along with picnic areas, lounge seating, cornhole games, even eventually Wi-Fi access to create a whole fun community space while supporting local food entrepreneurs. Mayor Michael Melham is here to talk about it. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, Ken. How are you?
I love it. I love Belleville. I still have friends who live over on Rutan Road. It's my one of my favorite communities. I lived there for 7.5 years. When I first moved to New Jersey, it was like one of the first communities I was at. The coolest people, nicest place. And I know exactly where that park is. It was just an old chunk of land. So when did you guys come up with the idea to make this a dedicated space as a food truck park?
I mean, I know you're in Belleville a lot. So if you drive down Washington Avenue, we have gone through a renaissance here. I mean, we have buildings going up left and right. We have new businesses coming in, bars and restaurants. And we're trying to really get rid of some of the single family residential houses that are on Washington Avenue because after all, it is a 4-lane state highway. And the township had the opportunity to acquire this piece of property a couple years back through a grant program, which was actually fantastic because it cost us next to nothing. It was a small house. It was on basically a 35 by 100-foot lot. And if you know anything about Washington Avenue, we've also invested heavily into other pocket parks and municipal parking. We have a lot more municipal parking that are metered parking, but this was just not going to be big enough for a parking lot. Usually you need about 60 feet wide for a parking lot. We weren't going to get there with this lot, so we didn't know what to do with it. The idea came maybe another pocket park, but then I had the idea, you know what, let's do something different. We're unaware of any other food truck park in Essex County or even in northern New Jersey. So we decided to really make this a dedicated food truck park. And so far, the feedback has been amazing.
I love it. I mean, you ask 100 people, you'll get 100 yeses. Nobody hates a food truck. It's just, food trucks when I was a kid, and I'm a lot older than you, food trucks were like, they used to have nasty names. I'm not even going to say. Today, food trucks are like gourmet raised up on a pedestal. I think partly thanks to like Food Network and things like that. They've shown that these people are serious chefs. They just may not be able to afford brick and mortar, and that's why they have the food trucks. But this space is really going to give opportunity to a lot of entrepreneurs who can't afford that brick and mortar, who want to have their opportunity to feature their product, right?
Absolutely. We have a long line of people that are already waiting to get that call from Town Hall to see if they've actually got one of the coveted 2 spots that we're going to launch with. But you're absolutely right. Everybody loves a food truck. Everybody loves a food truck park. About 5, 6 years ago, I started a food truck festival here in Belleville. It is no doubt one of our most popular events of the entire year. We pack it out with about 20 different food trucks, a very eclectic blend of food. And like you said, entrepreneurs that are really good chefs and bakers actually invest a lot of money. These food trucks could be 6 figures sometimes. They make the investment, the capital investment into that business, and they drive around in different food truck parks, and we're going to love it. We're going to have a great time. We're really setting it up right. I know you mentioned the Wi-Fi. I mean, this thing's going to have a gated entrance. It's going to have the string lights for the evening hours. It's going to have like a little fake grass area, cornhole. It's going to have plenty of picnic tables so families can walk down there, eat. We're even going to have water and electric for the food trucks that are there so they can hook up easily to it.
You just literally took the question I was just about to ask you. Will you eventually have that? Or like porta sands, porta potties for people, et cetera. I mean, I'm thinking like you are now down the line. This is going to be a real cool place to be. I used to live part-time in Hollywood, Florida. They do every Monday night in their young
Yeah.
circle, right in the middle of town. They have 30 to 50 trucks. It's a big circle. You can't park within a mile because so many people converge on it. I could see that down the line when you get a bigger space happening to Belleville, because Belleville's a great community. You're right next to Newark, right next to Nutley. You guys are a perfect community of really cool people. And I just see that happening there. I'm so glad to see that development. So, how important, though, it's not just about the food, it's about creating a space for the community to come out, right?
Sure. Yeah, we've invested heavily in our public spaces. I mean, the past 8 years alone, we have everything from community gardens that have opened up. We've done many pocket parks. We even have not one but 2 dog parks. So I now even say we have recreation space for even our animals here in Belleville. But this was something that was nice because on Washington Avenue, we do have some new bars and restaurants that are opening up. We have a couple of buildings that are bringing in young professionals with disposable income to spend locally, and we need places for them to go. They say build it first and the rest will come. Well, that's happening in Belleville. The bars and restaurants are here. Now we're really focusing on some public spaces. And we really believe that whether or not you're even patroning the food trucks, we do think it's going to be a park where people can come bring their laptop, open it up, grab a coffee, sit there and enjoy the space.
This is cool. Do you plan possible expansion in the future? Maybe if there's more space available up and down Washington?
Exactly. That's the whole key. The key is space. I mean, where we live, we're densely populated area. Space is very hard to come by. As we find space, depending on where it is, if it's in our main business corridor, we first look for public parking or municipal parking. But if it's like this and we can make a pocket park out of it, who knows? We might get a second food truck park here in Belleville.
And I've heard people for years say what you need in Belleville is like a community garden where there's like organic veggies grown and stuff like that, because it's hard sometimes down on Washington to find that. I mean, you got the new ShopRite, which is great. That place is unbelievable. Wow. I was talking
Yeah.
to one of their managers, in fact, on Sunday. I was at a wedding with him, and he was just telling me how they've transformed it. I remember when it was the Pathmark back in the day.
Yeah, sure.
That's how old I am. But that's just an awesome space. Belleville is really just it's just a total renaissance, and it's so great to see it, Mayor. And I also see that there's info on the Belleville website. Tell everybody about the website and the information they can get about the food truck park.
Sure, there's a lot of information we put out there. We push out a lot of information on the Belleville website, bellevillenj.org. Also, if you follow the township social media and my social media, you'll be very well informed of everything going on here in Belleville.
And what is the first date this is starting?
I believe it or not, construction starts today. Interesting that we're doing the interview today, but today's the first day of construction. We think it's going to be about a 6-week build. And as long as the weather holds, we might actually be able to get something in there in December. If not, we're going to have to wait till spring, unfortunately.
Well, you know what? How perfect. Do stuff holiday themed, maybe have a cocoa truck. I could see that happening.
Yeah.
But this is going to afford such an opportunity to entrepreneurs from all over northern New Jersey, really, to come and sell their wares and continue to perfect their culinary skills. And these food trucks are just the place to be. They're so great. I know, look, what we always had was the hot dog truck. The hot dog truck I'm talking about. I don't have to mention them on Franklin Ave. But now you're going to have some real serious upscale, and this is no detraction to them, real upscale food opportunities. We want you back on, Mayor, especially as we get closer, or any other great events in Belleville. It's always going to be in my heart. Love Belleville from the bottom of my heart. And we love when you come on, Mayor. So this is the Belleville Food Truck Park, 128 Washington Avenue in Belleville. Check it out when it opens about 6 weeks from now. Mayor Michael Melham, thank you for coming on as always.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Coming up on 8:58 right now, Mike is telling us, our Mike, meteorologist Mike Favetta, sun and clouds this morning, cloudy this afternoon, breezy, a little milder, chance of an afternoon shower, highs about 50. That's on New Jersey mornings. Your Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. I'm Ken Rosato. We'll see you again tomorrow morning, starting at 7. Have a great day.